yourself in coping with the loss of a family member?
Hi, my name is Brittany. I'm 17, and on November 24th, 2007, my cousin was killed. Here's his story.
2 men were stabbed and one died of his injuries when an apparent party turned deadly at a Stevenson's Ranch condo early Saturday. Sheriff's investigators said both victims were under the age of 20, according to the sheriff's detective Tracy Gonzalez. "We are calling it a murder at this point," the detective said. Gonzalez said they were investigating whether there was a traffic collision after some witnesses reported that the victims were run over. One resident of the area said the violence erupted during a party, and another said a motorist was racing around in a vehicle trying to run down the victims. About 12:15 a.m. Saturday, Santa Clarita deputies responded to reports of 2 male stabbing victims, both under the age of 20, at the Diamond Head condominium complex on the 25200 block of Steinbeck Avenue, Gonzalez said. Deputies found the dead man outside near the condos. The second stabbing victim was transported to Henry Mayo Newhall Memorial Hospital and remained in critical condition late Saturday. The names of the 2 victims had not been released as of late Saturday. The murder weapon, apparently a knife or other sharp object, had not been recovered and no one was in custody. As for a motive, Gonzalez said there was an altercation with the stabbing as a result. At the condominium complex early Saturday afternoon, neighbors grouped together and discussed the violence while they watched investigators and detectives examine tire marks and parts of the sidewalk near the residences. Mark De La Cruz, who lives near where the stabbings took place, said he heard kids running outside screaming around 12:30 a.m. When De La Cruz looked out his window, he said he saw a car peeling out. At one point, he said that a person in the car was driving around and trying to go after people, leaving the others running for their lives.
Since your cousin's death, how has this affected yourself?
Of course, it made me sad. It made me want to value my family more. It made me angry that, I'd never be able to see him again or spend time with him. Just made life seem a whole lot more real.
What are your feelings towards the murderer?
It made me angry. The person that killed him had no right to take his life. He didn't know him. He was an innocent person. He had his own life goals and dreams that he needed to accomplish, and now that they were taken away by someone that had no impact in his life besides killing him.
What role did your cousin play in your life?
Well, I grew up with him. I grew up with all boys, and he was my closest cousin. He was like a girl cousin to me. He would paint his nails with me and just be a nerd with me. And when he got older, we grew apart because he's a good amount older than me, and he went off and got a job and moved away to San Diego, but we were still close.
Since your cousin's passing, how has this affected your self-esteem and your individuality?
It made me a lot less trusting. I don't want to just give my trust to random people that I meet nowadays, and every time I'm out and about and I see people fighting or I have a feeling that something's going to go wrong, I get really nervous. I want to intervene and make sure nothing happens.
Did your cousin's passing affect your family members in any way?
Well, my brother was there with him when it happened, so he doesn't talk about it a lot, but he's a different person now. You can tell that it affected him. He doesn't go out anymore. He just stays home. I know friends, everyone that knew him, of course, is affected by it, and I'm sure feel the same way that I do about it. They have loss and are angry about it.
So what do you and your family do to keep Josh's memory alive?
Every year on the day that he was killed, we go to his grave and we just stand around talking about our memories that we have of him. And a couple days after, usually on the weekend after he was killed, we have a candlelight and we bring candles, and there's usually a pastor from our church that comes and talks. We just talk about our memories of him and help each other out. If they're having a hard time with it, we just talk to each other.
So if you were to see your cousin one more time, what would you say to him?
I would just make sure that he knows that I love him